This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, but we here with GOAT Talk, and we got a special guest, Darius Dalton, in the building. I can already see the gold on our guy LB's hat.
Yes, sir.
What's the count again on that hat collection?
306, man. We came out with 306 of these hats. All 306 sold out in 40 hours. Shout out to the people. Shout out to the community. Each hat is individually numbered, and 2 people out of the 305, because I got one of the hats, will go to opening day with me. We're gonna see that banner drop together. That was the point. That was the banner drop contest potentially. But yeah, man, shout out to y'all, man. We'll announce it sometime after the Super Bowl, after we all partying and all of that. But yeah, man, shout out to y'all.
How you doing, Darius?
Oh man, first off, again, great to be on with you guys, man. Y'all been holding it down and talking birds and representing all the way up to this point in time, man. Obviously, you know, Super Bowl week, and you just I'm busy with all these other things, but you know, ain't nothing hits different than when the birds, you know what I mean? When the birds are doing something special, it's just like, yeah, I gotta get it out of me. I gotta hop in, I gotta start talking, I gotta get in, joining in with this chat. And so it's good to be back on here with the 2 best, and you know, let's go ahead and get right into it. Nah.
Definitely shout out to you though, because I saw on Twitter you was retiring or something. Like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna get the collab with Darius again. But then my man said it's Super Bowl, let's run one. I'm saying, let's get it, man. Let's get it. Definitely,
yeah,
lit, man.
For real. Like we were talking about this a little bit backstage, and we're gonna get into the X and O's of the Eagles and Chiefs for sure. But the Sunday we beat the Niners, right? The day we beat the Niners, I knew we were going to the Super Bowl, but every single day since then, you know, media day, you got these guys acting a fool, hearing from everybody, a lot of crazy questions, a lot of good questions, but each day that goes by, I just start to realize that we are about to play a Super Bowl in less than a week. It's Wednesday, Sunday's around the corner. That's the fandom in me. And of course, that's what we all started. This is the only reason we picked up a camera to even do what we do, off the fandom, and then it turned to other things. But LB, what's your feeling? Wednesday, middle of the week, we heard from the guys. We heard Jalen Hurts answering the tough questions. Slay, all the crew. How you feeling about this Super Bowl?
From what I saw from the pressers, I feel like they loose. And they should be loose. You know what I mean? I feel like Jalen Hurts is loose. He taking in the moment, conducting himself like conducting himself like professional, like he always does. And, you know, me personally, I'm feeling confident. But I'm also mindful that this is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You know what I mean? But you got to think though, at the same time, the way we've been dismantling guys in the playoffs, I'm so confident, and I don't think nobody is ready to stand in front of this buzzsaw. So I'm confident, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm definitely an OG kind of football guy, which means I love the classic saying, you win the game in the trenches, run the football will win you games. And so when you look at both teams, I see who has the best trenches and who can run the football. And I point that to be the birds. Obviously, we know we have a beast with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes that we're going to have to go ahead and approach. But hey, we was able to beat the GOAT Tom Brady at 500 passing yards. I think we have our chance to beat Patrick Mahomes.
That's a good point.
That's a great point. One of the best offensive performances was put up on the Eagles, and that was a good Eagles defense, right? We could look at Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby as bad players, but in that season, they were playing pretty darn good. You had Malcolm Jenkins, you had one of the top D lines, and we got exploited, but the offense came to play. Nick Foles got the little magic on him, and he did big things for 2 games back to back. I think this is the game that Jalen Hurts can let it loose. You know, a lot of the media talk is he only threw for 300 yards combined in his 2 wins, but he won 69-14. You know, sometimes you got to do what Tom Brady's done for the longevity of his career and just read a room and do what needs to be done for that game in that situation. Every game is different. But as Darius said, you know, fandom away, right? We have the better team, as LB said, minus, you know, one of the best coaches to ever do this and one of the best quarterbacks to play in a 5-year sample size. Like, we can say what we want about who's second, third, fourth, and Jalen Hurts is definitely in the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL for sure. But Pat Mahomes does deserve respect. 5 AFC championships, been to now his 3rd Super Bowl in such a short time. He finds a way to win. And he's a ball player, but we got the better team. And as much as we talked about the trenches and running the ball, which has to be done because the Chiefs are soft up front minus Chris Jones, defense also wins championship. And so far, that has been what carried us through these playoffs. Not saying it wasn't, the offense did what they had to do, but the defense has put them in prime positions. And although Pat Mahomes is nice, if he's dropping back 45 times on a 85% ankle with these dogs, I mean, I kind of feel bad for him,
I feel like the recipe there, though. I feel like the recipe to beating Patrick Mahomes, we have it. Like, we're just so good, in terms of just roster. I feel like the recipe is there. Like, when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars game, I feel like the Jaguars had those guys, man. I hate to look at games in retrospect. I feel like the Jags really had those dudes, man. But, they just didn't do a couple things. Like, when the pocket is collapsing on Patrick Mahomes, you got to do – there's only one thing that can stop him. Obviously, he can throw from every angle, but you got to attack that throwing arm. And when you look at guys that attack the throwing arm in the National Football League, they're usually up there in the better half of forcing fumbles. We got the number 1 guy who does that. Attacking the throwing arm is what knocked out the starting quarterback in the NFC Championship game. I think you got to attack Patrick Mahomes' throwing arm, and I feel like Hassan Reddick has understood this assignment from day one. I just feel like our defensive line over time, with the waves of fresh bodies that we're going to be able to bring in, because you got to think, after you see a Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox, you see a Jordan Davis, you see a Milton Williams, you start seeing Robert Quinn sprinkled in there. That's going to wear those guys down. But it is a true battle on paper, strength versus strength. They're the number 1 pass rush win. They're the number 1 pass block win rate, and we're the number 1 pass rush win rate. So, we're going to see how that, measures out. But I think over time, we're going to be able to beat those guys down. And we're going to start getting to that throwing arm. And I think that's going to seal the deal ultimately.
Yes, for me, I love the fact that the Eagles, we're a very well balanced team on offense, and the way we are able to attack is through the air. Which now, I don't think that Chiefs defense is as good as the 49ers defense were. I'm gonna still give credit. The Giants defense was still very good as well. I think that Chiefs defense might be at this point in time, the weakest unit that we're going to be facing in this playoffs alone. But that being said, us being a well-balanced team, whether we're going to be attacking through the air, but also running the ball. If we establish that ground game, running the ball, being able to kill time off the clock, and most importantly, take Patrick Mahomes off that field and keep him sidelined, keep him, cold and needing to warm back up every time he's on the field. Now, when he's on the field, he's dealing with our pass rush, our pass pressure. You're dealing with guys that's been here before. The Fletcher Cox, the Brandon Grahams, and now you're adding more artillery with our with our main guy Hassan Reddick coming in, going after you as well. So it's for sure going to be up in that line of scrimmage to really control the game. I think when it comes to our secondary, having Avonte Maddox now, I'm not sure where his health is at this point in time. Is he still like limited?
He was limited. Yeah, he was limited today.
He'll be playing though.
Okay, well,
yeah,
he for sure will be playing. That's for sure. And bottom line is, that's going to be huge to already have. Getting a CJ GJ back out there. Obviously, James Bradbury, Darius Slay on the other side, and then with our safeties as well, Marcus Epps has stepped up. Reed Blankenship, he's had a very, very solid year. And for me, it's going to be up to them. That's going to be able to make the big plays. Hopefully, a couple tip passes that go our way that can land in our hands. Whatever turnovers we can create, and not have any turnovers on our side of the ball, because we don't want to give Patrick Mahomes or Andy Reid any more chances, okay? We don't want to give them any chances to capitalize off of that. I think that we're going to be able to be in a better position to force turnovers against them, because Patrick Mahomes will throw interceptions. He will throw interceptions, that's for sure. So I believe if we're able to go ahead and get into his face, like what you said, attack that throwing arm, that can go ahead and cause for some ill-advised throws that can land into our hands and give our offense more opportunity to not only control the game, but also, run up that score.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Danye Kennedy joining channel memberships. I think that's on LB's channel. Shout out to her.
Miss Kennedy, how you doing?
We got Michael Feldler dropping a $10 super chat. saying let's go, and he dropped another one with the 100. It's playoff time. It's Super Bowl time. Forget the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's part of the playoffs, but it's the big boy part of the playoffs. Let me ask you guys, let's start a little bit about the game. So if you win the coin toss in Arizona, Super Bowl 57, as we alluded, we got some dynamic players on the offensive side over there and coaches. You saw that carousel play that he cooked up in the last game against the Raiders. Don't think he don't got something cooked up for us. Not saying we can't stop it. LB, what are you doing? Are you receiving or are you deferring? If you win or we win the coin toss.
I'm deferring. I'm gonna give Patrick Mahomes the ball first for this reason alone. I want to get as much data as I can. You know what I mean? I want to start collecting as much data. You know what I mean? I got to start seeing. I got to start adjusting as soon as possible. You know what I mean? Because if you score in the first possession, at least we get it back in the second half. You know, we could probably mitigate that score right there. I want as much data as possible. You know, I feel like with them getting the ball first, they got a blank canvas, and it'll show you how they're going to play. Because a lot of times, you know,
and read scripted plays are legit. Though.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The first 15 plays are legit for real.
Get it over with. Let us know what you're trying to do right now. So, because Gannon is horrible at adjusting. You know what I mean? If Gannon is getting cooked, Gannon waits until halftime to adjust. I need Gannon to adjust by series this game, bro. So you know what I mean? So throw these guys out there first, man. Give us the ball at half. Who knows? With this defense, I'm not surprised if we get a 3 and out or hold them to 3. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised by this at all. Let our dudes start beating up the offensive line now. Let's start computerizing what they're doing. Yeah, man, they got to get that first mic. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Darius?
Yeah, honestly, I agree. I believe defense sets the tone. Defense wins championships, and that is what's going to send us the message, what our defense and how our defense is going to bring. I'm not sure exactly who started off the game first on offense back in 2007 with that Patriots, or I could like to go back to the Seattle Seahawks Broncos game when you're having a high-power, scary offense in the Broncos, and the first thing they did was ball snapped over their head. That set the tone for the defense to go ahead and say, you know what? That offense is not going to go ahead and score on us today, and they controlled that game. Cam Newton and that record-breaking 2015 offense against the Broncos, same thing. So I do believe defense will set the tone, and I do believe we should give the defense that opportunity first to set the tone, to really hype up this team, hype up the offense, and say, hey, you know what? We can go ahead and take advantage and jump an early lead on Patrick Mahomes. He just got stopped right now. Let's go ahead and take advantage of that.
Yeah, man.
If they win, Mike, they're going to kick it. They're going to defer if they win.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're going to give us the ball if they win.
I think both teams are going to defer. I know we got the ball first against the Giants. We got the ball first against the Niners too, right?
We did. We scored.
We went down and
drive.
Punched in on them right away.
Yeah.
So look, it's been working. But I'm with you guys. If it's my decision, I'm always going to defer, let alone you got a guy over there like Pat Mahomes. So you definitely want to get him out there and see what he got for you. And if it is a shootout, if he is scoring and it takes Jonathan getting a little longer to adjust, well, you got that, crucial, possibly score, get the ball back and score again. That could be a 10 to 14 point swing. And, regardless, them first 10 to 15 plays, Andy Reid is one of the best in the business. But one thing I know about this Eagles team is so far when we've had 2 weeks of rest, right? We saw it throughout the season. Every team had a bye week. So this ain't the first time. So we had the bye week. We played Pittsburgh, and oh boy, did we light them up offensively. You get the bye week because of the first spot in the NFC clinching, and we light up the Giants offensively. Like Jalen Hurts only threw for 150 in that game, but he had like 100. He had that 130 in the first half. It was because of the score in the 27-0 or 21-0 scoreboard that we kind of took our foot off the gas pedal. But the Eagles have been a really good, really high-powered offensive team once we come off that 2-week rest. Now, this is different. It's the Super Bowl. They're in Arizona. But, man, I'll definitely defer just because I want that backup in case Mahomes and Andy Reid do what we know they can do. So I co-sign. We all three agree that
clean sweep.
We let and I thought one of us was gonna say, you know what, Pat Mahomes too dangerous. I need to get out there and get the ball and make him. And listen, if we can have a methodical drive, that's demoralizing for a guy like Pat, who's clawing away trying to get in. If we can run off 8 minutes, 7 minutes in the first drive, and he don't even get into the game until dang near the first quarter ended, that will demoralize him. But I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all.
I feel like we get at least 3 if we get the ball first. I feel like we leaving with some points on the board.
I'll be a little upset with 3, knowing that Pat's coming on the field.
Yeah, that's a win. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's for sure. I know that's how we started off last time. We started off with the field goal, but putting some points on the board early on, it already gives us advantage. Hey, look, we have the lead now. Now it's a matter of for us to go ahead and strap on and play lockdown defense. One thing that makes me comfortable at this point in time is that I'm looking at last year's game. They do not have Tyreek Hill. He had 3 touchdowns against us, and he was just blowing past our secondary. They do not have that deep threat that is really going to spook you. I know they have several speedsters that they try, but it hasn't hit click just yet, and it ain't as impactful as a Tyreek Hill. So everything really is more so schematic with them, and obviously Travis Kelce is going to be their deadliest weapon. But what makes me comfortable for sure is that, okay, I'm not really going to be worrying about them blowing us over the top. It's just now, how they're going to be moving around the field and, picking us apart through that aspect. So it's up to Gannon to how he's going to be able to adjust. So I would rather, if we come out first on offense, yeah, get some points early on, because ain't nothing worse than starting off. We don't have any points. We have to punt the ball away. And then now we're giving Patrick Mahomes a chance, 0-0 game to set the tone. And it's just like to play keep up with Patrick Mahomes will be a tall task in order for us to ask this team to go ahead and do, because I don't think we have necessarily matched up with a high-powered offense like the Chiefs at this point in time. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not sure which game
No,
it was week 1, but we did have a little shootout with the Lions. And look, we want to look at the Lions as a not playoff team and blah. It's because their defense is bad, which helped our offense shoot out.
Right.
But their offense was a top 6 offense throughout the whole season. Their defense was just very, very bad.
Yeah,
this is the best quarterback we played for sure, though.
Oh,
Patrick
definitely.
Mahomes.
Listen, no matter who we played, he's all pro 1 for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Shout out to Jalen Hurts, all pro 2, and I think they have been the most consistent and the best quarterbacks throughout this season. Now, Joe Burrow, I'm not gonna lie, he came on hot at the end, and he's a great player. But still, I think these two have been the most consistent. Their teams show it. A lot of people are like, oh, the Chiefs made it. Oh, the Eagles made it. I mean, like, it doesn't always happen, but they were both the number 1 team in their respective conference for a reason.
Right. Let me ask y'all this, though. Do y'all think Kelce, do you take Kelce out of the game, or is it business as usual? Or do you give him special attention off the break? Do you eliminate that option for Patrick Mahomes off the break?
I would for sure. I would rather test Juju and Valdez-Scantling to go ahead and beat us. I'll take that 100% of the day. I'll have them beat us, which I'm pretty sure that it's going to be Slay and Bradbury that's going to be covering them as well. So I would for sure love to focus on Kelce and rely on our corners, who should beat their matchup. I believe Darius Slay should be able to beat Juju at the line of scrimmage. I believe James Bradbury should be able to beat Valdez-Scantling at the line of scrimmage as well. So I would for sure leave it up to them to handle their business, because I want to be able to keep an eye on Travis Kelce as much as possible, because he is their go-to. He is their bread and butter of that offense. It reminds me, of like how these tight ends that we've watched before, like the Jason Wittens, how it's like the bread and butter of that offense. It's like the minute you take him out, then it's all unpredictable for, that offense. And, who else ever that was impactful, like the Algie Crumplers, moving on forward, where it doesn't matter how much the offense has changed. If they have that one tight end, the Antonio Gates, that just stayed in that system for a long time, that's always going to be, where they start and where they finish.
That's the focal point. Yeah, look,
Exactly.
I'm taking it away too. If I get beat over the top by Juju, by Mecole Hardman, by Valdez-Scantling, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna talk my trash on my corner for a second, but I'm gonna live with it, because I don't think it's gonna happen again and again. But Kelce will get you again and again if you allow it. If you play zone, he's always open, even when he's not open. He's the tight end version of AJ Brown, for real, for real. He really is. And so you got to make sure that he's your focal point and live with everything else, in my eyes. Real quick, though, I shine with the $5 super chat. He said we got to have 11 guys to the ball on special teams. I hope Sipas is back. Special teams is important in a game like the Super Bowl. Like real talk, I don't want to make this happen, but like we got to make sure not only we are there to get the ball carrier, whoever's returning kicks for them, because a big 40-yard punt return or a 40, 50-yard kick return, that sets too much momentum for guys like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. But listen, fumbling a punt is so demoralizing because your defense, just imagine your defense forcing Mahomes to punt, and then they punt it 45 yards and he gets it right there. Like that will destroy me. So Britton Covey, whoever's returning them, play it safe rather than be more safe than risky. Like it would be nice to
you
get
can't
a nice
have him back
return.
here. You can't have him back here for this game. No, you can't have him back here for this game, Mike. It got to be Smitty. I don't care. This is Super Bowl. AJ might got to go back there. No, it got to be Smitty, bro. It got to be Smitty. Like I would have liked to see Quez back there in the playoffs, but I feel like something's going on with Quez's confidence, if you ask me. I feel like Zach Pascal is getting more time than him as of late, but it got to be Boston Scott back there or it got to be Devontae Smith.
Yeah, nobody knew. Not in the Super Bowl, because if they drop it, then we're going to blame it on the newness.
Covey should never be there in this game. I'm telling you, man. I'm terrified of that. Because listen, he ain't never dropped nothing this year, but it's the way he acts after I think he did drop one against Washington, but I think he got it back or something like that. But it's the way he acts after he gets the punt. He just is a crash dummy. He don't got no jukes. He don't got anything, man. Somebody going to hit him and that ball going to come out, man. No. That just scared me, man, when y'all talked about that. Hell no, no Covey.
I would just need him to fair catch it almost every single time whenever the time we do force him. Just fair catch it all the time, just because, I don't want to risk him trying to return it, because every single time he tries to return it, boy, he takes a beating every single time. So, I would love the special teams. I don't think we've ever asked.
I think he just froze.
I think he froze too. Special teams got him. See, better make sure we don't got no special team technical difficulties. But he'll be back. But yeah, like that's the most demoralizing. Like you're watching the game, first down, ooh, nice stop. Second down, stop. Third down, you're celebrating. You're putting your fist up for the punts, and it's like a 45-yard completion because they get it back. So I think that is important. Part of the way we're gonna win this game is by us playing, great football. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're going against another great team, but taking care of the ball in this game is just all-time high.
It's key, man. It's key. When the games we lost, we turned the ball over, more than once. You know what I mean? So it's definitely key in a game like this. And so we're usually good with our ball security and things like that, but man, that one mistake can lose you this game. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you got to be flawless, but you got to be smart. You got to mitigate these penalties. I did a video on this a couple of days ago. You know what I mean? You don't think that these coaches are going to these refs before the game? Everybody
you're talking about the Lane Johnson stuff.
Right. Everybody made a big deal about Lane Johnson after the 49ers game. Oh, Lane Johnson always false starting. Lane Johnson is going to keep an eye. They're going to keep an eye out for stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're going to keep an eye out for, we do RPOs. They're going to keep an eye out for the ineligible receiver downfield penalties. They're going to try to keep an eye out on those situations. So it's up to us to be real disciplined in this game. The fundamentals will get us this victory alone. So I feel like if guys are practicing on the small things, the small nuances of the game, ball security, watching the ball, in terms of false starts and all sides, knowing where you at. This Patrick Mahomes, if the ball out his hand, fall on the ground before you hit him, because they're going to throw that flag for Patrick Mahomes. You got to be mindful of these type of things going into this game. You know what I mean? So the discipline is huge for this one, man. And that's why it's great to have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts is good. I don't know what Jalen Hurts does for the defensive side of the ball, but when Jalen Hurts is playing, don't nobody want to disappoint Jalen Hurts. Nobody want to disappoint Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? This defense, I'm comfortable with these dudes going out there, bro. They allowed 7 points in back-to-back playoff games, bro. Come on. I'm comfortable with it, man. We're playing our best ball right now.
Yeah, real quick though. B with the $5 super chat. He's thinking the same thing as LB. He said, call me crazy, but I trust our defense to make a play more than Mahomes driving down the field. Hashtag BG, Super Bowl 52, not worried about this game at all. And hey, I like how the announcer said that to Pat Mahomes. He was like, last time BG was in the Super Bowl, he done stripped the GOAT. You got anything you want to say to him? And Pat was like, nah, we good. We good.
Right.
I'll tell you what. I mean, last time we saw the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they didn't score a single touchdown. And that's because they were getting pressure. Now, I get it. They were playing with their backup offensive lineman at that point in time against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But, again, the way how our front seven was playing this year, 70 sacks, over 70 sacks. We done knocked out Brock Purdy our last playoff game. So if we get to his face, we see how he's able to quickly be discomfort and sputter around. That Chiefs offense can be stopped. It can be stopped, right. And it with our line of scrimmage, if we're able to go ahead and get to him, yes, our defense has been able to. Our defense is feeling it. Our defense is really feeling it, and it definitely has not gotten the respect that like the Niners defense has gotten this year, or any other defense that we've been hearing about. I don't think our defense has nor nearly got the respect, which was
I agree.
Baffles me because I'm looking. I was like, we made the number one seed, and I get it. We weren't looking like the hottest team at that point in time, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, you guys got to understand. Not only, this team is really good at home in the playoffs, but this defense in particular. You go back to 2017, the Falcons with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones in that offense, only 10 points. We saw 38-7. We obviously saw that. The couple years later, twice 38-7. And even a couple years later, where we had Josh McCown on one leg, on one hamstring, we still held the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson to only 17 points. We did the best we can. Our defense at home during the playoffs is stout, which for me, I'm just like, well, we got the number one seed. It's not surprising to see them come up and get into the faces. And of course, we were not going to let quarterbacks like Brock Purdy and Daniel Jones come into the league and put up points now. Like, come on now.
Exactly. So I think Patrick Mahomes in his presser, he gave away a little bit of what he was going to do. He talked about our defensive line. The first thing he said was, I got to get the ball out of my hands as quick as possible. Like, that's the game plan. Patrick Mahomes is not going to hold on to that ball. I think we wrap this up in a hurry. I'm telling you, if we just do this one thing, if we eliminate the edges, because they're going to throw screens, they're going to throw quick outs. You know what I mean? Just look at the game plan from the Bengals. They were getting that ball out quick. The Bengals got a solid defense. You know what I mean? They were trying to test the edges of the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals were shutting it down. A couple screen plays leaked away. You know what I mean? But the Bengals were wildly in that game. Burrow just was turning the ball over a lot. So if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, man, edge discipline got to be at an all-time high, yo. They are going to try to get to the edge, sweeps, whatever. Kadarius Toney and Ponchero, or however you say his name, those guys are going to be used on the edges a lot, man. So if you seal those edges, that means that forces him to hold that ball, and you got to take some shots in the middle of the field. You got the personnel to beat Patrick Mahomes, man. It's just the game plan just got to be the right game plan.
Nah, I agree. Real quick, shout out to Angel. He said, Darius, we missed you, bro.
Man, appreciate you guys. Miss you guys as well, man. Miss talking birds weekly with you guys, and glad to be back on here. Super Bowl time, baby.
And catch him on his show weekly at
right.
we gonna talk about that for sure when we get out of here.
100%.
D Dragon with the $5 super chat. He said Reddick will make Pat look human. I love Hurts, but I have 200 on Reddick winning MVP. Go Birds! Give me your take. All right, listen. What would Reddick have to do to win defensive MVP? I mean, and that would mean Jalen Hurts Jalen Hurts got to have for us to win. Jalen Hurts got to have a good game, but for Reddick to win the MVP, it has to be good to win, but not know like if Jalen Hurts throws the ball for like 280 and rushes for like 85. If he has like 3 combined touchdowns, 280 and 70, that's going to be Jalen Hurts.
That's MVP for sure.
What would Reddick have to do? What would his stat line have to look like to get MVP at a Super Bowl? When's the last defensive player to get that? I don't know.
I think it was Ray Lewis.
What did Von Miller? What was Von Miller? That Super Bowl 50.
Oh, right. That was 50. That was 50 with the Broncos.
Right. The last year Peyton Manning, right? The last year Peyton Manning.
I think that was Super Bowl 50. I think Von Miller was the last. They went all the way to Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Because
we don't think about it.
Not common.
Right.
We don't think about it whatsoever.
How many sacks do you think he would need?
Vaughn didn't even go crazy like that, did he?
So Vaughn, so I saw that I'm looking at right now, 2.5 sacks. He forced 2 fumbles, and in one of those forced fumbles was recovered in the end zone. So he basically scored a touchdown for the Broncos when that big old defensive line fell.
All right. No, that's crazy. That was crazy. That's crazy. That's your quarterback could throw 280 and 3 touchdowns, and you still might get it. But what Vaughn did, you know what I mean? And so he wrecked that game. Yeah, I don't think Reddick got to do that much. So I think if Reddick get 1 sack and 1 forced fumble, couple tackles for loss, that might not be enough. Reddick, he gonna have to get like 2 sacks. He got to get like 2 sacks.
I say, the minimum has to be 2 sacks, and one of them definitely has to be a forced fumble. I think you for sure need to do a forced fumble. For sure it has to be a forced fumble that was recovered. And then, I don't know, maybe I have to push it up to 3 sacks at that point in time, because again, for defense to win Super Bowl MVP, you really actually have to have a ridiculous game. For crying out loud, we almost want, if Nick Foles didn't have the ridiculous game he did against the Patriots, it's almost like we were going to give it to Brandon Graham because of that strip sack play. But because Nick Foles went off that game, it's like, of course, we're going to give it to Foles. But, I think that, an impactful play, depending on the timing of the game as well and how consistent they've been. It's possible for Hassan Reddick to get Super Bowl MVP.
It's possible. Nothing that he does surprises me anymore.
Right,
he just be going crazy. So
I think he got waiting for a forced fumble this game. Like I'm almost expecting it, to be honest. Like he's coming hungry for real.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, man. Patrick holding that ball on the arm that's closest to Hassan Reddick coming off his edge is not good for Patrick. I'm telling you, he's gonna get there, bro. He is going to get there, bro. And he ain't trying to sack you, bro. He want the ball. That's what makes him so dangerous, right? That's what makes him so that's part of his technique, part of his game. I caught so much flack, y'all. I gotta remind y'all. I caught so much flack for saying that Hassan Reddick was going to have a better year than Michael Parsons on Twitter. So much flack. I was called mean names. They was talking, it was horrible, y'all. But look what happened. Hassan Reddick is the best edge rusher probably in the league for real. You know what I mean? And
he's up there.
They got a game plan for Hassan Reddick because the San Francisco 49ers did not.
You know how Cowboys are with their players. Anytime they do something great, they think that no one else could beat them. Remember how I think LBU, y'all were saying the same thing about Trayvon Diggs the last season. Like he had all these interceptions, but he was still getting cooked. What was he doing this year? I ain't really heard much of Trayvon Diggs this year. So
I heard and he dropped that pick in the San Fran game.
Exactly. So, at the end of the day, they always going to be hyping up their players and thinking that they're going to be the greatest thing that's ever touched the football
field. They've been hyping up the team for 28 years, bro. 28 years hyping up that team, and it's crazy. Yeet with another $5 super chat. He said Reddick MVP. That's we were just talking about.
You saying that's a lock.
Yeah. Chiefs wide receivers about to be locked up. If we had Jenkins still, throw him on Kelce, and the game would have been over before it started. But hey, look, we going to need
my dog. Kelce would have cooked Jink. Jink, my dog. I think CJ got a good shot though.
Super Bowl Jink was tough. After that, he started falling off. Super
Bowl
Kelce. Listen, Kelce would have cooked Jink. He could right, anybody. Kelce, he's the best receiving tight end ever
in history.
Right. In history.
That's going to be the toughest task there, man. I'm thinking about it now, but I just hope that there's 2 Kelces that's going to be playing on that football field, and I hope that the one that's going to be dominating is going to be our Kelce. I'm going to tell you that.
He gonna dominate regardless. I think our offensive line is just going to feast. Like I thought about this all day today. Like I don't think they could stop us on the offensive side of the ball. I just don't think they could stop us, man.
They got 4 rookie secondary members. 3 of them play a lot, and 1 keeps rotating in and out. Bro, they got 4 rookies guarding the Batmans.
Bro, but this might be set up. Listen to this. This might be set up for Jalen Hurts to cook on the biggest of stages, yo. This is truly set up for this, bro. It is set up for him to cook on the biggest stage that you could be, bro. It's given to him on a platter for real. What he should be able to do through the air against this secondary. if he get the time up front, you know what I mean? If they sprinkle in the run, how they supposed to sprinkle in the run, I don't think that these dudes can stop us, bro. You could go pass heavy probably and beat these guys, and you could go run heavy and beat these guys. I just don't think they could stop us. But going run heavy, in my opinion, protects the ball a little more. Then you add in some rollouts with some play action and stuff
keeps
like that.
Mahomes off the field too.
Yeah, right. It keeps Mahomes off the field. You take the air out the ball, but I just can't think of a way that they can stop us. Their linebackers can't cover. You know what I mean? They're out there with some rookies on the edges, just like you named. Outside of Chris Jones, like who are? I had to look around. Like they talking about these guys like the Honey Badger's still back there, like Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? I had to look around for a second. I'm not afraid of McCole Hardman. I ain't afraid of them guys, man. Like, bro, this is 22 birds, man. I just don't think that they can stop our offense, man. I think once we dial in and Jalen Hurts got his swagger to RPO, they can't stop us, bro. We might put up 40. We really might put up 40 in the Super Bowl again.
Yo, we definitely have a chance. Warv said also, I think Reddick is going to have a day. He's my dark horse MVP. Shout out to Warv with the $5 super chat. A lot of people on that Reddick. Hey, the payout is great. So even if you're not going to put a lot, throw a little chunk on that, because if it happens, you good. Knight Rider with the $5 super chat. Fellas, we can't be stopped. I'm doing my research on KC's season. Their defense is weak sauce. Since the O-line was papered, Jones won't be as terrible to us. Chris Jones did wreck the Bengals offensive line, but that's not our offensive line, as you elaborated, the Kelce boys. And as we've been talking about Travis Kelce getting off Paul's all game, our Kelce's going to get to the second level. Our Kelce's going to be opening lanes for Miles Sanders big time. But I do agree with LB, and I was going to put this in a video today, but I didn't do one because of this. I got the reason I don't have, like, people were asking me, what do you think AJ got to do receiving to get it? Even Hassan Reddick to get it. What do these guys got to do to? Jalen Hurts is going to win MVP. Because I do believe, look, Miles Sanders is probably, to me, he's gonna have close to. He's gonna have impactful runs, close to 100 yards. But I see Jalen Hurts cooking with like 275 is not crazy, but 275 plus like 60 yards on the ground. So I got Jalen Hurts throwing 2, rushing for 1, combining for over 330 yards of total offense, and playing a flawless game. And that to me is going to be able to hold both them things up. That's what I think. 250, 275 is plus.
Listen,
I think he's due for it.
Listen. We've seen this before. Okay, we've seen this before. Everybody was like, "Oh, the Eagles look shaky back in 2017. The offense was a bit, up and down, even during the playoffs, until we exploded against the Vikings. And then it's just like, okay, but can they actually do it against a Bill Belichick defense? And then we did. We are due. We are due to have that offensive game. Since the Jalen Hurts injury, our offense, it hasn't been as what we've seen it, but like against the Steelers, like against the Titans, the Giants the week before. Since that Bears game, since the Jalen injury, I'll go ahead and say, although they actually had a solid performance against the Cowboys, but we did have a defensive touchdown. But I mean, I think that we did enough. We did as best as we can with Gardner Minshew behind center. But nonetheless, though, we haven't seen that offense we've been so used to seeing and falling in love with earlier in the year. That being said, 2 weeks of rest, Jalen's shoulder is getting more healthier, more better. We're going again. We're not playing against the Niners number 1 defense or a physical Giants defense. We're going up against a defense that, may I remind you, 24, okay? I like to look at 24 is always my magic number when it comes to point scoring in today's NFL. Chiefs have allowed over 24 points in, I believe, 8 occasions. In 8 games, they've allowed over 28 points, or 24 points, excuse me. Once against the Texans, I think the Broncos.
That was overtime, by the way.
Overtime. Several times against the Broncos and that Russell Wilson offense, which was just tragic this year. And then several times I believe against the Chargers, and I'm not sure who else ever.
The Colts, I think that was also overtime.
The Colts as well.
They lost to the Colts.
They did lose. And everybody was giving us flack for going toe-to-toe against the Colts when they actually lost to the Colts, which was, I mean, but they're not going to talk about that.
Did you guys see the common opponents list? They lost to the Colts. We beat the Colts. They struggled against the Jags. We scored like 21 straight on the Jags and the comeback one in the rain. It was another common opponent that we played.
Texans.
The Texans. We beat the Texans. They went to overtime with the Texans.
They blew out. They did blow out the Niners. However, so did we. But they allowed more points than we did as well. but all I'm just trying to say is just that when it comes to the narratives and what has people thinking that, oh, here's why the Chiefs might win and here's what the Eagles offense might, it hasn't been looking like it's been looking like the last several weeks or so, and they think that the Jalen Hurts shoulder could be a problem, which he's admitted. He's saying, I'm not fully healthy, but again, you get another 2 weeks healthier, I think that he's going to be coming in ready. And I do think that, to be honest, I don't know how you guys have felt watching these games these last several weeks or the weeks prior to this. I felt like we were still pulling it back because our defense was just taking over the Giants game and the Niners game. So when it came to the offensive side, I mean, shit, we ran, excuse my language, actually, I'm sorry, but against the Giants, we ran for over 200 yards. So why do we need a pass if we're running for over 200 yards? You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Against the Niners, we're dealing with a fourth string quarterback going up against a 15-year Josh Johnson. Shout out to him though, because I do admire his career. Salute to his career, but it's a fourth string Josh Johnson, and then at one point Brock Purdy with a torn UCL on his elbow. So they were not going to be threatening us at any point in time. So I personally believe that we did not really go full throttle as we've used to seeing before because of the circumstances we're given in both games.
No, go ahead, LB.
No, yeah, I kind of feel like that in a way it was a blessing in disguise the way we were able to trash these teams because nobody really seen our playoff offense when we had to have like a do or die. It's kind of been vanilla. Although at times I feel like we tried to get the offense going in the NFC Championship game. But the 49ers is a good defense, man.
It is.
This is a good defense. We can't act like it's not a good defense. I got to commend Jalen Hurts in that 49ers game. A lot of people are not talking about this. He played a really good game, if you ask me. He took what was there. He didn't force anything into that umbrella coverage. And, he took the shots that he saw. Now, he did miss AJ. You know what I mean? That would have been a walk-in touchdown. That place would have went crazy. That would have set the tone. But you know what I mean? For the most part, when you look at the film of that game, if it was nothing there, he just took the dump down to the tight end in the middle of the field to stay on schedule.
I'll quickly add on to what you said before you continue on. I was going to say the throws that he was missing deep, mind you, we haven't seen him pass the ball deep since the Titans game before the Chicago Bears game. So it's been at least over a month since we were watching Jalen Hurts launch the ball deep. So that's only I wanted to go ahead and implement as well.
Yeah. And that makes perfect sense. But I feel like he due for one. I feel like now he due for one.
Coming.
Yeah. I feel like he due for one. I feel like this is the stage that was made for players like Jalen Hurts. The only thing that I'm worried about is it was also made for players like Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It was just made for these type of guys.
We got one, they got one.
That's exactly. We got one, they got one, Mike. So it's like, but I feel like we got what it takes to confuse Patrick more than they got what it takes to confuse Jalen. I think Jalen Hurts might do over 300 in this one, man.
Yo, look, I honestly see it as this is going to be the game. Look, if we can run the ball, they're going to run the ball. But I agree with both you guys. We haven't had to use the passing game. I think I think our defense is going to play a heck of a game. But guess what? Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl, allowing them to score 23 points, 24 points, 21 points, I still think that would be a great defensive output and from our guys, knowing that they're going to play no holds barred too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Offensively. But I do see us scoring 30 plus. I see Jalen Hurts having his best game, taking advantage of the secondary, but also using these legs. It's no holds bar on all end too. And again, if we blow them out, we blow them out. Kudos to that. But I think this is going to be the game that we open things up because we have to and we're ready to. And as you said, Jalen Hurts missed them wide open. However, that's uncharacteristic. He's been one of the best deep ball throwers in the game this season. Alluded to him not throwing deep for over a month. And another thing Jalen Hurts did very well, his presence alone pretty much stopped the impact or just took Fred Warner out of the game. Because Fred Warner had to wait and watch and see what Jalen Hurts did, because they solely used the best linebacker in football not to play football. They used him to be Jalen Hurts' babysitter. They said, we're not going to get beat by Jalen Hurts' legs. You're going to watch him. And guess what? 3-4 rushing touchdowns, Boston, Miles, because Fred Warner was taken out of the game. So again, Jalen Hurts' presence allows that game plan to flow.
That's crazy, man. Think about how smart you got to be of a quarterback to know when to give it up and when to keep it, because Fred Warner is there. Every play you got to be right. It's like basically heads or tails. Every play you got to be right, because some of those times Fred actually dropped in coverage and you could have kept it and got something off the outside, but Fred Warner fast as hell. But literally every time he was selling the handoff in a way that Fred Warner guessing, and he didn't do nothing but read Fred Warner, yo. That's all he did was read Fred Warner for the whole game. Read an all-pro, one of the best back. You know what I'm saying, bro? Bro, I'm telling you, bro. The IQ was up there, bro. The IQ was up there. Kudos to that, Jalen Hurts.
But when it comes to Hurts now, at this point in time, look, he's already made now a Super Bowl appearance. Okay, he gets this win. He performs at the biggest stage. Look, Look, Joe Burrow with Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase was not able to get it done. You know, like I'm only bringing up these guys, these quarterbacks, because they've had players as well, and everybody likes to use A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith as some type of like defense mechanism as to why Jalen Hurts, you know, isn't having, you know, that good of a season, because it's all on the talent that he has around him. Well, duh, of course. But at the end of the day, let's acknowledge that Joe Burrow still has guys like Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Josh Allen, so it has Gabriel Davis and
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, you know?
Right.
So that being said, you know, obviously we always think about Patrick Mahomes. I think it really is no debate. He is the top dog when it comes to quarterback. But after that, Jalen Hurts gets the job done. And I'm over here like, well, you know, you can name all these quarterbacks, but I could also tell you that they themselves have just as much talent as the Eagles have on their side, but they were not able to get the job done. However, Hurts was able to. Where is he now at that point in time? Where will we play Jalen Hurts at that point?
Jalen Hurts would be the second best quarterback in the game.
Bingo.
The second best quarterback in the game. If Jalen Hurts wins this Super Bowl, this Eagles team will go down as one of the greatest teams to ever win a Super Bowl in NFL history. You know what I mean? 14-win season, that's a franchise record. The stats on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball speaks for themselves. The way that they destroyed people in the playoffs. This team has been destroying people in the playoffs. We've been drunk. I was at a divisional game. I was drunk in the first quarter. It was a wrap against the Giants in the first quarter. Like, this team has not made me stress in the playoffs at all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Your quarterback only lost one game all season. He will be the first quarterback since Joe Montana to go 15-1 and win the Super Bowl. Come on, bro. You're talking about history. This is the first game with two black quarterbacks. If Jalen Hurts win this game, this is by far the best Eagles team of all time. You know what I mean? And this will be one of the best teams to ever win a Super Bowl. This will be the best team to ever win a Super Bowl coming out of the NFC East.
I agree.
The NFC East history.
I 100% agree. There really is absolutely no debate when it comes to overall teams that we've seen all throughout these years. I mean, we've seen some great teams in the NFL, and the way this Eagles team, the way how it's been handling, doing their job, and it's making everybody question, well, how tough is the NFC at this point in time? In my opinion, I believe NFC is just as tough as the AFC, if not tougher, because the AFC continues to give us either Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? And nobody else ain't really competing with them, because nobody else is making it to the Super Bowl other than now at this point in time, Burrow and Mahomes. And before it was Brady, and it took until Brady to come over to the NFC for anybody else to go to the Super Bowl. So that being said, it's just like if the AFC only has one or two legit competitive teams and the NFC continues to give you a plethora of new teams, I believe the NFC, the conference itself, is just as competitive, if not more competitive. And now we're in the toughest division in football. Come on now. The final four teams in the NFC, 3 of them coming from the NFC East, and the Eagles were able to go ahead and breeze through the playoffs and through the season just like that, you cap it off with the Super Bowl win. Damn right, this is one of the best teams we've ever seen in NFL history.
Yeah, and then you also, again, as LB alluded to, the stats, the sack record, having a all-pro quarterback, all the Pro Bowlers, just matching, like, again, career years for multiple guys, leader in interceptions, AJ's best season. Everybody's breaking records, and then we go ahead and win the Super Bowl, which is the ultimate record. You got to give it to us hands down. Shout out to Dag with the super chat. 2 games versus Cincy. Kelce had no more than 78 yards. We got to take a page out of their playbook for this game, at least for a half. That's interesting. JG definitely got to look at all the teams that Kelce struggled against and try to implement that. Let's knock a couple of these out because they're building up. Yeet said Jenkins would have made Kelce look like Brandon Cooks. That's about 150 pounds difference. About 100 pound difference. But I get you, bro. Hey, listen, it's Bird Gang all day. We won it, but Kelce
would have ran. He'd have ran Jenk over, man. He's
the main attraction over there for real. It goes Mahomes, Kelce, and start at top with Andy Reid. War, another $5 super chat. They try to hype up every interior D line, and Kelce handles them every single time. I'm not worried about Chris Jones. He makes a good point. Chris Jones is a problem, but when you have the solution, the problem it ain't that big of a problem, right? You know, and Kelce has handled some of the best guys in the game.
What's that dude from New York? Shut him down every time you see him. Dexter Lawrence.
All pro Dexter Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so, Chris Jones is cuffing that same cloth, but so is Kelce. So
I don't know about you guys, but I don't even think I heard of Eric Armstead last game against the Niners.
Nope.
Do we even hear about or even Nick Bosa? Or was it Nick Bosa? Where
we heard about his brother though, Bosa.
Right. Exactly. So damn it, of course we're gonna be ready to go ahead. And I know against the Cowboys, what did Micah Parsons really do? Did
Micah Parsons got 0.5 sacks on us this year in 2 games.
Our offensive line is ready at the end of the day. Our offensive line is ready.
What I mean? I look at how they handled Dexter Lawrence. They was doubling the hell out of him. It ain't even have to. You know what I mean? Dude, Chris Jones is going to be a non-factor in this game. Jalen Hurts is going to have so much time. All he got to do is do what he been doing, man. But I will say that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just to finish off or cap off the offensive line, we did extend our Jeff Stoutland, didn't we?
Right.
We did. So that alone
and he turned down OC jobs. He was getting OC offers. I didn't know that at first. Like, I'm doing my video, and I know look, check this out. I'm doing my video, and I know we extended him. So I click up the list. I always use my Twitter to like make sure I get the things right. So I know we extend them, but the second paragraph says that he turned down OC jobs. So I'm reading it as I'm doing my video, like kind of like wanting to pause and be shocked. Like, I didn't read that part. So then I had to go off that top of the head. But yeah, he turned down a couple OC jobs to stay with the Eagles because he knows what's been built here. Look, he's going to be able to go down as like he's the best positional coach in football, positional coach. And this offensive line has been special under him.
Yeah, and he still got some guys that, he's still working with and grooming. Kelce's replacement is there, and Jurgens, he's still working with him. It's good that he extended. He'll see his career, start off or whatever the case may be. Who else is another? Landon Dickerson, Mailata. These guys are still young in their career, man. He's going to be able to groom these guys. Right. And he's going to be able to draft guys to fit with them when they become the OGs. So, man, it's a good thing keeping him for sure, man. Good thing. I'm worried about Spagnolia, though, man. He sends some sneaky ass blitzes, man.
He will.
I'm kind of worried about him. He always seems to scheme something up to get a free rusher at your quarterback. So we just got to be, we got to be mindful of that too, man. We got to be mindful of it. Everything on the line, man. We got to look at everything.
When it comes to the Chiefs and their coaching staff, obviously, Spags, he's great himself, and then Big Red, and it's like sort of conflicting when it comes down to Big Red, because when he's been every single time we play the Chiefs, when he's been coaching them, he's been taking care of us. But also at the end of the day, I'm just like, but this is also Big Red in a big game. You know what I mean? And us as Eagle fans, we've seen how many times we done come up short in the biggest of biggest games. We done played for this organization while he was when he was at the helm coaching, and as well for the Chiefs. How many times the Chiefs honestly was a letdown? Yeah, they won the Super Bowl in 2019, but there's several other times where you think, well, they could have won it this year, or how were they able to come up short this year? So it is a bit conflicting when it comes to the Andy Reid spectrum, where okay, so he's given the Eagles trouble since he's left Philly, and every time we've played him, I think we've lost like, I don't know what our records is now against the Chiefs. Like, it's like
not good.
Yeah. He's beating us every single time, nonetheless, though. So we got that tall task. But also at the end of the day, what's also going against him is that it's a big game for Andy Reid, and he's missed a lot of those, you know.
Because the Chiefs have been to what, like 5 straight AFC Championship games? Listen, they looking like the Eagles. Remember, we was going to NFC Championship game with Andy. They looking like the Eagles with Andy.
But look, they do got that out of them 5 now. They do got 1 ring and 2 appearances. Well, who knows? Hopefully, this is just an appearance.
Right, you know what I mean? This is an appearance.
It's an appearance.
It's an appearance right here. Andy ain't ready to face these demons in the Super Bowl, man. Going against a team you couldn't get it done, but he barely getting it done over there. Listen, he there. Listen, Andy Reid is an NFC Championship appearing dude, AFC Championship appearing dude. He do that a lot, but it's only still 1 ring over there, Andy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's only still 1 ring over there, Andy, and you got Patty.
So hold on. So hold on. Tally up the numbers, because he's been to now 5 AFC championships for the Chiefs, and then was he 5 with us? Was
5 with the 5 with the Eagles, 5 with the Eagles, and 5 with the Chiefs. He's been in 10 conference championship games and got 1 ring.
And got 1 ring.
Well,
so
we got to say 9 because we don't know what happens in this game, even though we all believe.
Oh, right. Okay, so
no, I said, he been in 10 and he won 1.
I ain't mad at it at all.
No, I feel you though. 9-1 is still crazy. 9-1 is still crazy. 9-2 is crazy if the unthinkable happened on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Unthinkable,
right? But you know what I mean? That's a lot. That's a lot. How many AFC
we need that to play favor for us?
That's what I'm saying. How many AFC championships?
Quarter, he don't know.
What I'm saying? Right. How many AFC championship games have Belichick been in? I think they've been in like 10 Super Bowls over there, right?
Right. Yeah. No, they've been in a lot. They've been so you got to see they won 6. They won 6. They've
been in 8 AFC championship games?
They've been in 8 Super Bowls and won 6 because they lost to the Giants and the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
3 times. They 6-3 because they lost Giants twice.
Oh yeah. So it's 9. 9 with 6.
9 with 6. See, look, you know what I mean? That's solid. That's the greatest of all time. That's real solid. You know what I mean?
He not going no more without Brady. So again, you need a coach, you need a quarterback, you need that tangent to be legit. And I think we got one. And Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Jose Serrano said not a mention of Sanders all week by the national media. Beware of the 100-yard game. Look, we said it. This playbook is going to be open for the Eagles to attack the Chiefs multiple ways. I don't care how it gets done as long as it gets us what we came for. Lust said Jalen will be MVP. New song on my page, Truth Hurts. Hey, definitely go check out Lust on IG. He got a Fly Eagles Fly song, and he got, Truth Hurts coming out
Truth Hurts
very soon. Dave Dust with a $5 super chat. He says, salute, fellas. Shout out to Dave Dust in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Ellis said, don't bite on Mahomes pump fakes. If he has the ball, rock him.
You ain't got no choice.
Facts. John Martin with the $5 super chat. You seen that Chris Sims interview on NBC Sports Philadelphia with John Clark? This dude really on another level when it comes to the word hate. Bro, he is. So he learned how to throw in the ball. I can't.
It's crazy, man. At this point, he using us, y'all. Eagles Nation. Chris Sims is using us. He need the clip. I don't get it, bro. Phil Sims' son is just wilding this week, man. I really don't understand.
Though. He as much as he's using us for the clicks, when we do click and we respond, like 2 disses ago, right? like I forgot what he was talking about, but he was literally like cursing, low key.
Right, I remember he had a whole
Right.
meltdown. He had a whole meltdown.
Right, because Eagle fans and ESPN was calling him out, and he continued to do this. So it's not just Eagle fans, ESPN, like Seth Joyner was trashing them too today. Like, bro, I mean, it's not just Eagles, like us guys and or Eagles Twitter. It's starting to be legit check marks that don't cover the Eagles. Like, bro, shut up.
But then it's like, you know, what are you getting out of it at this point, bro? And people in his position should not be allowed to vote for NFL honor awards. How is he a voter for AP awards, Associated Press awards? It don't make no sense. He got a pure bias. He said in week 6 he wasn't getting his vote, bro. Week 6.
Yeah.
God damn. It's like 12 more weeks left. Like the dude is wild, man.
Yeah, sometimes for me, I always be concerned sometimes when it comes to the stubbornness of these people that be in these positions. I mean, I always like to go back to baseball and how many players, like again, how the Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame, even though he's a home run king, just because of he did steroids, just like hundreds of other ball players have been able to go ahead and do. And I'm only saying that just because so many people have already made up their mind as like, oh, this doesn't deserve it. They see Jalen Hurts at the style of quarterback that he is, and it's just like, for me, it's just. You got like everybody needs to start really expanding their minds when it comes to quarterbacks. It's not all about a strong arm being 6'6" and 240 nowadays. You know, you could really revolutionize that position and really create a lot of fun offenses that we've seen throughout these years. Again, Lamar Jackson, what he's been able to go ahead and do with that Ravens offense, his MVP season, how fun that was. Cam Newton 2015, the Michael Vick the Michael Vick days as well. So for me, it's just like start respecting that position, start respecting these kind of quarterbacks that step in there, and just because they don't throw 450 with 4 touchdowns every single week, understand that yes, 120 yards with 3 rushing touchdowns is still impactful than 300 yards in the air and 4 touchdowns. So I think that because of his style of play is always going to be a detriment to these kind of guys like Chris Sims, who be out there hating and thinking, well, because he's not playing the position right, you know, he don't deserve this.
Well, when he get that jewelry, it's not gonna matter. You know what I mean?
There's nothing they're gonna be able to say.
Yeah,
right. You hating after if you hating after you get the jewelry, you should be locked up, bro. You a different human being. You different.
Yeah. Because like, and then he tried to say, if you want me to grade him off his passing, this is where I'll put him. But I do got him in the top 10, blah, blah, blah. But no, you're grading off what he is as a player and a quarterback. And the quarterback position is changing. And I can't wait over the next couple of years. It's going to change more. You're not going to get just the guy who just wants to stand. It's going to change. It's going to really change. And I can't wait for that.
Justin Fields, in my opinion, he proved that the change was here. Because if Justin Fields start being able to throw the ball more consistently, I don't know, man. Yeah, you're gonna see the same thing you just seen with Jalen Hurts for real, but at a higher clip. Justin Fields could have ran for 1,000 yards this year.
Right. Yeah, Justin, he's that dude no guys. He got moves. Like I said, the run he got against us that kind of got called back from the one, but man, he was putting all our players in the spin cycle. Like it was like Madden joystick mode for real. Ryan Ellis with the $5 super chat. Reddick lining up on their weakest lineman is barbecue chicken. Don't bite on my own bum fakes. Rock him. If he has the ball, don't let him get too cozy. That's facts. D Dragon said that clip with Hurts and the interviewer had me rolling when the dude admitted you saw the clip, right?
Yeah, somebody said that was.
He said, "I'm sorry."
Somebody said that was ESP.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to be funny.
I don't think they confirmed it, no, but he was, at least the guy got up there and said that, right? Used this question to say that. But Jalen Hurts said, "You're not the only one." And then he said, "Nah, but I want to be the bigger man and say it." And Jalen Hurts said, "Cool."
Right. It's like, bro, like what you want me to say, bro? It's okay. No, bro, you're a hater, bro. And that's why people don't understand why every time it's just something in me, man, this year. Every time I hear or see a Cowboys fan say something on Twitter, I got to say something because they have been at it all year hating on Jalen Hurts, man. Like, don't get quiet now, bro. Don't get quiet now, bro. People was telling me before the season started, it don't matter what receiver y'all get. Y'all could go get Jerry Rice in his prime. Jalen Hurts ain't going to get him the ball. AJ Brown had a career year. Smitty had a career year. Dallas Goedert would have probably had a career year if he didn't get hurt. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts got 15 rushing touchdowns while throwing the guys and giving guys career years. He had a career year himself. You know what I mean? A lot of people were so wrong and they don't want to admit it. They've never seen this type of growth. They've never seen this type of patience. They've never seen this type of attention to detail. They've never seen nobody put in this type of work. And I think it's scary to some people.
He did say this. Again, the little clip I played, whatever. I did hear on the actual longer form because I did like how John Clark was coming somewhat to the defense of the Eagles since he covers them and blah blah blah. He was like, so Sims, let me ask you this though. The way you had Jalen Hurts outside the top 40, the way you looked at Jalen Hurts coming out of college and in his first couple years, the jump he did this year, have you ever seen that in a quarterback? And he's like, no, that's the one thing I give Jalen Hurts. He definitely exceeded every expectation I have, blah, 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 blah. But that's way deep in it to the part where no one's really listening. But he continued to say the steps he took was never seen before. He's just still not. I'm still worried about his passing going backwards more than it goes forward, some shit like that. And it's like, of course, whenever he gives one, it's one step forward, it's 3 steps backwards. It's just what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? It's just
I'll for sure when it pertains to Jalen Hurts. I mean, look, we gotten so spoiled with the Mahomes, the Watsons, you're seeing the Lamar Jacksons, Josh Allen. You're seeing quarterbacks come into the league and doing something, whether it's their first year or second year. Joe Burrow making it to the Super Bowl his second year. So at the end of the day, it started making a lot of people just now, oh boy, we got to get something right now. We got to get something right now. I know I fell victim to that because that first playoff game against the Bucs, I was just like, oh man, I don't know how he's going to be as a passer if he's going to be getting spooked like this. Not even realizing at the end of the day, even guys like Aaron Rodgers had 3-4 years before he became Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
At the end of the day, it is all about development. And when it comes to Jalen Hurts' career in particular, we've seen him. We have seen him at the start of his freshman year at Bama, being a true freshman, taking over the helm at quarterback with the best with the best college football team in the nation. Right. We've seen his growth as a passer develop to Lincoln Riley, starting to develop even more with Doug Peterson, and now with Nick Sirianni. Now you give him a couple more pieces. He done give A.J. Brown damn near 1,500 yards, and Devontae Smith damn near 1,200 yards. And if Dallas Goedert didn't get hurt, he would not have had 700. He probably would have had 1,000 yards. You know what I mean? So the Jalen Hurts growth as a passer has been heavily observed from everybody. And if they should look around the numbers and see how everybody has been able to skyrocket their stats now at this point with Jalen Hurts on the center, then he's clearly done his job by developing as a quarterback, and he's continuing to get better. That's the scary part about it. He's getting better every single year. Like, I don't even know where is his ceiling at this point in time if he continues to get better,
There's no such thing as the arrival. It's only the journey. Man, I love this man's quote. For real. You know what I mean? Listen, yeah, like I said, I got my 3-year-old says, keep the main thing the main thing. My 3-year-old, his vocabulary is limited, but he says, keep the main. I'm gonna make it a YouTube short. That's coming up sometime tomorrow, but it's crazy when he says, keep the main thing the main thing. He'll say it to me, not even in context. He'll just walk up, I'm drinking some water, and he'll say it to me. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yes, I love it. It's crazy. But let's get to these super chats before we, talk a little bit more and finish this out. Mr. 89 said it was all last when the Eagles were in the basement. Now we legit, and the last become hate. It ain't fun when the Eagles got the gun. I like that. It ain't for real. Yeet. With the $5 super chat. Our only weakness is Seumalo against Chris Jones. Seumalo is a Pro Bowler. How many Super Bowl teams ever can say their weakest link is a Pro Bowler? And again, when Seumalo used to get slack, I say, yeah, he's the weakest link on our thing, but he's still a good player. It's just that we got Hall of Famers and Pro Bowls and all pros all over this line for the longest time. Ryan
I don't think Chris Jones can stop him if he's running forward at him, like in a screenplay or run play. Pass protection, he might be fooled.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Jones is good, but like I said, our protection is good, and where we need help, we apply help. So we're not gonna leave the weakest link one-on-one with Chris Jones. Kelce gonna come and hit him too. Kelce's that dude. He'll take on.
I think he's a little overrated, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to say stuff like that. I think he's a little overrated. Slightly, man. Yeah, I gotta say it, man, because Hargrave had 11 sacks from the same position, man. You know what I mean? Chris Jones had 6, but it was an All-Pro. You know what I mean? It gotta be like what is it there? You know what I mean? What's really going on? It's more productive defensive tackles than I think Fletcher Cox might have been more productive than him this year. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. But
see, he's really good in the run game as well. Where Hargrave is a pass rushing D tackle. But I agree with you. That was one of the biggest snubs. You know, you can lobby for like the TJ Edwards and all this other, but Hargrave was huge snub. In my eyes for sure. Ryan said Blankenship hit Debo so hard he put him in a spin cycle and made him fumble. Debo still hasn't recovered. You heard Debo today on First Take, right? He's talking about listen. He did say
Debo too.
Yeah, listen. So so Debo said on First Take. The nice thing he said was that he's rooting for the Eagles because him and AJ Brown were been friends since college. You know what I mean? So he is rooting for the Eagles. However, Stephen A said, how would you attack the Eagles if you're the Chiefs? He said that back end is sweet. He said, he pretty much said, don't run the ball at all and just throw at the secondary. That's what we wanted to do, but then we lost our quarterback, 2 of them. So he said, no, he literally said the back end, Slay, Bradbury, the back end, all 4 of them, Jones, right? Maddox, CJ, he said they sweet. He said the Chiefs should just throw at them all day. No play action, no run game, just pass protect and throw the ball in the secondary. Debo said
he gonna get Patrick Mahomes intercepted a couple of times.
That's what I'm saying.
Try to go what?
You're gonna get him hurt.
Right. Exactly. I think a lot of people are looking at a lot of the stretch from when Gardner Johnson and Maddox didn't play. Yep, I think them the games they looking at to find a weakness when it's so unfair. You know what I mean? Look at the weaknesses. Look at us the last 2 weeks at full strength with all 12 guys on the field, all 22 starters. You know what I mean? Look at that tape and see if we sweet or not.
Only one team threw the ball in the air in 17 weeks for over 250 yards. That was the Dallas Cowboys. We gave them 4 turnovers that helped them throw the ball. Maddox went out in the first quarter. CJ Gardner-Johnson was not there. So think about it. As you just said, this defense is different without CJ Gardner-Johnson and Avonte Maddox. And Dak Prescott had a 300. That was his only 300-yard game of the season. But that was the first time the Eagles allowed more than 250 plus yards in a game.
We only had one quarterback throw for 300 on us this year.
Well, yeah, not 250, but yes, 300. Only one quarterback. It's Dak Prescott. But again, we are missing 2 key pieces.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Still,
we've been the best pass defense all year, and that's why I clipped Slay because Slay said it at the Super Bowl media night. My bad for the 250. It's like 2 something, but to keep it plain, no quarterback except for Dak Prescott threw for 300 yards on us. And Slay said it perfectly. He said the crazy thing about Ayuk's comments, or Brandon A, however you say his last name, because I get people get mad at me when
Brandon Ayuk, yeah.
Anyways, he's like, we've been the best passing defense all year. This is just bad sportsmanship. Like, you're saying you're going to exploit something that hasn't been exploited all season. And again, the only game you could look at that secondary and be like, oh, they were sweet was the Dallas game. And out of our 4 best secondary players, we were missing 2 of them. So, it is what it is.
And let alone, sometimes your best offense can your best defense can be your offense at some point. And so with that game, I mean, if we had Jalen, we probably would have been able to give our defense a lot of breaks, a lot of chances to kind of stay off the field and stay control on offense, to control that game with Jalen behind center. So, with Garner behind center as well, missing 2 guys in our secondary, the defense was definitely left a little bit more vulnerable on the road divisional game as well. Dallas, they had all to play for at that point in time compared to us at that point as well.
All true.
I think they kind of folded the week before. They got that 40 burger put on them against the Jags. Right, so the game, I guess, but I didn't know we were that good in the second. I know we were good, but I didn't know only one quarterback threw for 300 yards on us. So it's like these guys are just talking just to talk for real.
Yeah,
they're just talking just to talk. They're just mad the game ain't go their way. Every week is somebody new. Debo today, CMC today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
he was just like, I'm not watching the game.
that's what I'm saying. It's like first of all, why the hell all of these teams who are eliminated getting so much camera time right now? Nobody want to hear from them.
You know,
So
No,
they can cry and complain.
Here's my thing too, right? I was going to tweet this, but Twitter was down, and you just brought it up. I don't see the Bengals going to First Take talking about how to stop the Eagles and the Chiefs, right? Like the Bengals will be salty on the Chiefs right now, but they bringing everybody from the Niners, right? Like, come on, like look, they bringing Niners players up to smear the Eagles, but where's Eli Apple? This man be talking on Twitter all day. He would go on First Take and talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Chiefs get no type of bad media, and the Eagles get some. It's funny. Debo don't go on those shows. CMC don't go on those shows. And now they on First Take talking about if only we had a quarterback.
Right. All up there crying.
But my thing is this, though. Why don't y'all blame your head coach whose game plan was to allow tight ends to block Hassan Riddick? Because that's what was going on at the start of the damn game. They was letting Hassan Riddick, of all people, run free or having a tight end trying to block him. So go ahead and look back at the game plan. But are we allowed to poke at the mastermind of Kyle Shanahan? Because last time I checked, that wasn't a good game plan stepping into the game. He done set Brock Purdy up for failure, leaving Hassan Riddick so open like that, free lane up to him.
On the first play, on the first play, an inexperienced quarterback dropping back. Shit was like a seven-step drop back for a long developing play on the other side of the field with the number one sack defense chomping at the bit. First play of the drive,
reckless.
And you got a tight end too blocking Hassan Reddick. This your first play. A little screen or something to McCaffrey, a little run up the middle, but your first play is to go for the juggler. Yeah. Come on, bro.
And it backfired big time. Real quick, Yeet said, it's not if, guys, it's when we win the Super Bowl. Gotta love the confidence for sure. Ryan back against it. I don't want Jalen throwing the ball all that much. I want to break the Chiefs' will by running the ball on their butts all day long. Time of possession in our favor.
I like that comment by Ryan Ellis. I noticed that both games that the Chiefs lost, 2 of the 3 games that they lost against the Bengals and the Bills, they both had at least like over 120 yards rushing. So you could very well attack that Chiefs defense. We run the ball very well. I do think that running the ball will set the tone.
In the Bills game, it was Josh Allen doing the running. And I'm telling you, there's going to be some key runs for Hurts. It's all or nothing for sure. S. Blankley with the $2 super chat. He ain't saying nothing, but we appreciate it. Bird Gang 93 said, I think the 49ers game was a bigger test. Definitely our offense versus their defense was big. And man, the playbook is open. We have the opportunity to run and pass the ball. LB said it's going to be a big game from Hurts. I agree. They got 4 rookies in the secondary. Not saying they're good, not good, but they're rookies for a reason. Trent McDuffie, I liked them, but man, they got a tall task to stay with the best duo in the game. If you ask me, at wide receiver with some young bucks, you know what I mean?
I think the slant gonna be wide open for AJ all game.
All 1K always open. This is gonna be his biggest game. He's had 2 lackluster games. He's about to break out, but I don't know, man. Smitty was cooking him as a rookie. I was looking at that. I dropped a YouTube short today of Smitty on the sideline. Jalen Hurts rolling out against the Chiefs last year. Some good stuff from Smitty in that game. But Eleanor with the $20 super chat, and we all feel the same way he does. We about to get up off here. It's been an hour and 18. Is it Sunday yet? Go.
That's what I'm asking.
Almost.
It is. D Dragon with the $5 super chat. Shout out to y'all for holding us down. Y'all got called all kind of names, but all them creators are making draft videos. We talking about Super Bowls with an apostrophe S, because just 5 years ago we were here. Patrick said Jalen will show all the haters what he can do come Sunday, plus the D-line will dominate. Fly Eagles fly. Agree with that. Bird Gang said I just want to punch Nick Wright once we win. Yo, I know you posted that on Twitter too, and I was gonna do something with it, but man, that's just disgusting work. Like,
which one?
When he said that Jalen Hurts not even an MVP caliber player. Like people just like him and want to root for the underdog story. Like Chris,
you gotta understand. You gotta understand, man. You gotta understand how completely lame and broken you have to be from high school. Like the stuff when people say stuff like that, they didn't have fun in high school. They wasn't the man in high school or whatever. Like, what do you mean? You think people want him to be the MVP because they like him? What do you have against likable people who perform at a high level? Like, the dude is performing. It's just wild to me, man.
Nah, yeah. To say that, and again, he said, no, I think he's going to finish second, but nobody thinks he's better than this guy, and obviously, it just comes from the whole. It's the analytical, gotta throw the ball this way or that way, nerds. No, it's right. Nobody who put a pad on and played football. Like I said, things can get really changed. The narrative is going to flip big time because, as he said, not if we win, when we win, we will be beating the best quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
We did it.
This is a big This is a big win. A big win. Jalen Hurts will change the landscape of the NFL moving forward if he wins, because people swear up and down that you can't win these type of games with these style of quarterbacks. It's always the big knock on these guys. Jalen Hurts is going to change the landscape of the National Football League. The landscape. They're going to look at guys. Go ahead, D.
I was going to say, not only Jalen Hurts, but the guy that orchestrated this and put all this together just after 5 years of winning it, Howie Roseman. You're telling me that how he was able to put together another Super Bowl team? Again, he is putting together another Super Bowl team. This team is completely different. Other than Lane Johnson, Fletch, Jason Kelce, Brandon Graham, Elliott, and several others that I'm not mentioning right now. But those, just about it at this point. I know Barnett, but he's on IR. But nonetheless, though, Howie Roseman, what kind of statement that's going to make for our front office, for our GM across the league to be like, we did it again, y'all. Back at it again. We're on top of the world, and this time it's a whole new team I have.
Right. I think. Go ahead, Mike.
Nah, I was gonna say it's gonna make other GMs say, you know what? Because a lot of GMs are afraid to do stuff like this because they're afraid to fail and be stuck in the gutter for a little long. But Howie and Jalen about to change it because they're gonna be like, we got to start rolling the dice like Howie more.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Howie be rolling the dice, man. You gotta think about it.
He was 7-11.
He drafted every starter on the offensive side of the ball. The Eagles have drafted them, with the exception of AJ Brown.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This was immaculate drafting by the Philadelphia Eagles over time, man. And I think that Howie Roseman probably gonna go down as one of the greatest GMs ever, in my opinion, if he wins the Super Bowl, because he showed you that. A lot of people only know one way. Howie Roseman built the Super Bowl team with a pocket passing quarterbacks, and he built a Super Bowl team with dual threat quarterbacks. Like a lot of people can't do that. And then Howie Roseman went out and got guys catered specifically to both quarterback. You know what I mean? He catered the team around what was on the team and made it his best version for a Super Bowl. Like, this is a completely different team than the 2017 Super Bowl. We were, are we number one in rushing? We might be.
Possibly
top 5 for sure.
Right. But I know we were number one in rushing.
Wait. 17? We were third. We were third.
We were third in rushing? Okay, I thought we were number one.
Yeah. The Dream said, man, I can't wait for Sunday. People like Nick Wright has disrespected us all dang year. I don't think this game will be close. Listen, Eagle Nation is doing good. We're gonna have to do a call. I'm gonna do a call-in stream before Sunday. It's gonna be a rowdy one. I'm gonna have to make sure I'm ready for that. Ryan said, once again, nobody's talking about AJ Brown had food poisoning when we lost to the Redskins, or how the Commanders damn near took Goddard's head off. Yeah, but look, losses in the season, all that stuff don't matter. Now we in the big game.
Right.
$20 super chat from Morgan Holm. He said, "Oh snap, is that Darius, the Godfather of Eagles podcast? What up, my dude? Smith and Brown gonna leave scorched earth on that defense, and Hurts is gonna be like, if you want to make it fair, I will run backwards into the end zone." It's gonna be a good one.
First off, shout out to Morgan. Appreciate you, dog.
Yes. SM22 with LB Mike. Tell these haters season over. Go sit down.
I tell them every 5 minutes, bro.
Man.
Facts. D Dragon said Eagles need a crystal ball, need crystal ball Brunson in the draft room. Hey.
Oh, bro, every time you post it on Twitter, bro, you're that meme. Every time I always see him behind a crystal ball.
Which one? Oh, the crystal ball. Oh, yeah.
Crystal ball. Oh, no. And the one you're just like.
Oh, yeah. I was like the one I was in the club. Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah.
Bro, those be the top two memes every time I done seen when the Eagles win or the Cowboys lose. The first thing I scroll on Twitter, I done seen those memes drop.
The Cowboys lose with the smile. Them junks go together like
right.
That's peanut butter and jelly. It's like you waiting to see that LB grin once the Cowboys.
Listen. As soon as it's in hand, we just waiting for the clock to run out. The meme's gonna start rolling. The parade going. Listen, the parade going down in my house.
Man, it's crazy. I again, like I said, the fan perspective. Every day we get closer, I'm thinking like, all right, how am I gonna do this? What am I gonna do after this? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Gonna fly with the last super chat. If Hurts wins, will he be viewed better than McNabb?
Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah. I think so.
I'm a big McNabb guy. I mean, he still got to get numbers up throughout his career, which he will. Right. He's 24 years old, the youngest quarterback in Eagles franchise history to make the Super Bowl. But yes, a Super Bowl win just automatically puts him up there. You know what I mean? There's only been one other guy. And this Super Bowl will be more impressive because Carson Wentz, it took two quarterbacks to get the job done. And necessarily, I don't think we win a Super Bowl if either one had to do the whole job. I don't think Carson would have been clutch enough to finish in the big game. Now we know what we know about him. Right. And I don't think Nick Foles will have been durable enough to get us that number one seed and do all the things we need to do. So Nick Foles starting every game wouldn't have been good enough in my eyes. Carson Wentz finishing it, I don't know if he would have finished it. But Jalen Hurts doing it all.
Yeah, right. Jalen Hurts from week 1 to the Super Bowl. The only quarterback that won a game for this team was Jalen Hurts.
And
you know what I mean?
And we took 2 games off because he wasn't there.
Right. And let alone, I mean, differences as well, where you could go ahead and say even McNabb in the Super Bowl throwing up. I don't expect that from Jalen Hurts. I think that this seems like another day at the office for him. The way he's up there, the way he be speaking, the season's not over yet. I expect him to, even after the Super Bowl, for him to be like, we got to get back into the, back to the film room. You know what I mean? His mentality itself is also different. Just like as you just mentioned right now, what separates him from the Foles and Wentz, where we needed them to play exactly the part that they played during the 2017 season for us to win that Super Bowl. Well, Jalen Hurts again, he's doing it all, and what could go ahead and make him do something that McNabb was not able to go ahead and do is also be able to keep his composure and handle this big spotlight, this big stage that he's in right now.
True. Mm-hmm. Real quick though, we do got like around 780 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button wherever you're watching. We appreciate you. It's an hour and 27 minutes. Darius, let them know about your new gig. You also be rooting for another team, I heard of, right? You got the Eagles, Eagle Nation.
And Beagle Nation, baby. Obviously,
Beagle Nation.
For copyright reasons, we had to go ahead and create some other team. But yeah, it's on QTV Network. Subscribe to that channel. We'll be dropping some gems on there, some good shows. It's an opportunity for young creators, young producers, and writers and actors to go ahead and get their platform seen, to get their talent seen as well. So this concept that we both created, is Sports Fan is pretty much based off of just sort of my immediate life. And you're balancing a life where a sports influencer, someone who's trying to make a living online, like how we see nowadays, the impact of TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, again, one viral video could really get you paid for a lifetime at this point in time, the day and age we're living in. So you're seeing a sports influencer who's passionate about his team, also balancing his family. Obviously, you guys are both fathers in this chat as well. So we also want to integrate that family sitcom kind of vibe that we've all grown to know and love. So it definitely is it was a fun show to shoot. I definitely think it pays homage to this particular community for us to come on here and talk about our teams and be as passionate about it as possible. And it was very fun shooting it. And then we're hoping that, move forward, there could be more of these shows just so we could really expand this world as well and give more opportunities for guys like us that came on here, talking about the Eagles, even our rival fans. Shout out to them and any other fan base that comes on and talk about their team and be as passionate, while at the end of the day trying to balance what they do outside. I know that when we log off here, we're all going to be, doing what we got to do for the family and going on forward with our lives, and that's what we're also seeing as well. So so check it out, guys. Sports Fan on Key TV Network.
Yeah, it's a dope concept, man. It's a dope concept because I know what you're going to do is touch on what we go through on the outside when the cameras is off, because we all put in a lot of work on this, man. So yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yes, man. Man. Check it out.
I totally agree. Just checking my phone now to make sure the wife's not saying that we got to, what do you do? I told her, I told her I'll be off. I said at 8:15 will be the latest. It's 8:30 because me and LB never go over an hour. So I'm waiting to see if the text messages come. No, but we good. She didn't text me yet. But
good.
Just that, and I watched the promo for it, right? And right off the grip, it's like you show the true thing. You're doing your thing, and you got other responsibilities, so you got to cut it short. So it's great. It's definitely got the perfect amount of showing how much you love your team. The new age wave of social media, and not just YouTube, but all the other stuff, also balancing, wife and kids, and especially when you got the little ones, mine's 3 now, so I don't got no newborn stuff. But I started my channel the same week my son was born, so that's why I love it. When my son turns 3, my channel turns 3. My channel is the same age as my son. And so it's crazy, but I definitely went through the whole newborn stuff, but we not, this is the last one because Philly Mike got 3 kids. So the channel, the same age as Long Hair Don't Care, Aiden, they're both 3 years old, but we won't have no more newborns unless God got different plans for me. But it should.
No, yeah. I got my 2.5-year-old. I was in here and I had her in my arms on a live stream one day during the draft, and everybody like, she good. I'm like, yo, she will not go to sleep. But I had a whole draft, a live draft setup. I was in the house by myself. I'm like, man, she's just gonna have to rock out till she go to sleep right here. I'm like, oh, we got Devontae Smith or whatever draft that was. It was crazy though, man. But yeah, I know you got the little one coming soon, so you gonna see, man.
Yeah, man, come on now. Look,
congrats.
We already got the onesies set.
Okay, them. As you should.
It was like a no-brainer. The minute that they found out he was going to be a boy, they said, well, he's going to be an Eagles fan. That's exactly what my father did for me and my brothers, and it's going to be passed on there because he's going to be suited up with me watching the Birds on game day. And I mean, I think that's going to be the coolest thing to actually see. It's just like, these little spawns that we done created is now being inspired by something that we all grown to know and love. You know what I mean? To watch the Birds on TV, and now for them to go ahead and mimic or aspire and be excited, just as excited about the Birds as we are, I'm just like, man, I can't wait to see that moment in time happen.
That's gonna be crazy, yo. It's gonna be definitely a blessing for sure.
I love that. Thank you guys so much.
No problem. But until next time, y'all know what time it is. Eagles Super Bowl in a couple days. Go Birds. We out.